Welcome back. Flood in the valley. Nothing really new here. It seems like every year we hear about, some kind of damage being caused by the rising waters of our lovely Red River. But prep is obviously the key to preventing any damage, and insurance can obviously make a big difference as well. So today to talk about all this, we've got some very special guests. We've got Andrew Rice, the owner and operator of Thunder Plumbing, and my good friend Joran Johnson, insurance agent at Superior Insurance. Both of you guys, thanks so much for being here.
Welcome.
So let's start with the sump pump thing, because I hear that's obviously one of the key components to help hopefully mitigate some issue. So just basic, what is a sump pump? How does it work?
In your basement, normally they're under the stairs or in your mechanical room. You're going to see a black circle with pipe coming out of the top, and then there's the pump. That takes all the excess water from the ground and sucks it out of the basement and gets it out of your house so it doesn't flood.
And one of the things I hear a lot of people talk about is having like a backup in case your electricity goes out, or what does that mean?
Definitely a good thing to have, especially last year with how saturated the ground was and how much your pump was running. Pump only lasts for so long, so that's going to eventually go out. And if you don't have that backup in there and that goes out, you could be looking at water in your basement within a day or two. So a battery backup, you'll be protected anywhere from the size of the battery from 4 to 8 hours. It's going to hold it accountable and get that out of there. And it'll actually give you an alarm too and let you know something's going wrong.
So is it a whole new kind of sump pump, or am I just having a backup there that I put on the my old one? Or?
It's a separate pump, yes. Oh. So if that first one fries out, it's got a backup pump on there. It's got a separate float, so it'll hit that float, and that secondary pump will get that water out of there, and it'll let you know what's happening.
Got it. So let's talk a little bit about flood insurance. There's been a big conversation about it. Fortunately, it seems like we're having a pretty good thaw. But what's your take as of right now based on what you know, and how does flood insurance work?
Well, flood insurance covers you for overland flooding, and specifically 2 or more acres or 2 or more properties that are inundated with that overland water. So if that water comes over your basement foundation or maybe down your window well, that's when flood insurance kicks in. And most people don't know that a standard homeowner's insurance policy specifically excludes flooding and man-made plumbing. So that's why you want to have that sump pump. That's why you want to have insurance specifically endorsed on your policy to cover that.
So I think the one thing, because there's been so much conversation about, flood insurance, should you get it, should you not? If someone were to call you or call their agent, what are the key questions they should be asking to make sure that, hey, I should get this, or maybe I don't need it?
Yeah, well, Governor Burgum's been our best salesperson so far this spring. So when you got the governor of the state saying, hey, you should take a look at this, you probably should. So
if I were to call you and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting flood insurance, what are some of the key questions I should be asking you to make sure I'm getting the best information?
Well, one of the things that we'll do is we'll say, where's your address? Where are you living? What's the risk? City of Fargo has some great maps out there on flooding. You can actually find your address and say, what if the water gets to 39 feet? How does that pool around my house? How about 40 feet? How about 41? And you'll see that water kind of come in and circle around your house and start to take over. So it'll get you going. It'll get the fear going, and you're saying, you know what, I want to get rid of that risk. I'm gonna take a flood policy out.
Someone else I was talking to recently talked about you can get insurance in case your sump pump breaks down, and they were saying, hey, that's a really important thing to have. If you don't have flood insurance, what were they talking about specifically? How does that work?
Yeah, again, insurance companies hate water in your house, so they specifically exclude it. But you can buy that sump pump endorsement back. So you add a little bit of premium, and then if it comes up through man-made plumbing, the kind of stuff that Andrew can do for you, they're going to offer coverage at that point. And then flood insurance is typically a separate policy, but you're seeing a few homeowners insurance carriers coming in with an endorsement that says, you know what, we'll offer a little bit here and there.
Nice. Anything else you want to add?
Just make sure your sump pump's working. That's a lot of things people don't know, especially last year. I was running quite a bit. And go check it out. If it's not working and that water starts coming in from the melt, you're going to have water in your basement pretty quick.
So how can you go check out to make sure it's working right now with the ground?
There's YouTube videos out there. It'll show you exactly how to do it. It's pretty much you just got to lift the lid, pull up the float, and it's going to suck it out. Check it out, too. See if there's a secondary pump in there. If there's not, think about getting it. Most pumps, there's wireless sensors that you can put in there. Most of that stuff, it costs less than your deductible. And if you get water in your basement, not only are you going to be out that deductible, but you're going to have to deal with people going in and out of your house, fixing the sheetrock, fixing all that water damage, getting the mold out. It's going to be a nightmare. So better just putting the backup in.
Is it something that, like, I can barely hammer a nail. I mean, could I put a backup in, or is it something I should hire you to come in and
It's
do?
something you're gonna want to do. Have a professional do it. I mean, anything that involves plumbing, it's better to have a professional do it because you're looking at water, and then you're gonna have insurance issues. It's not Johnny Homeowner approved.
Johnny Homeowner. To both of you guys, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Stay with us. We got much more coming up right here on North Dakota Today.